What's up, YouTube? We're watching China Living in the Future, Banned in America by Kanuspi.
Hey everyone, I went to the most high-tech city in China and possibly the world, Shenzhen. And I went with the goal to see brand new tech and what we're missing out on in North America, as well as hunt for vintage and rare tech as well. And I have to say, what I saw and what I found was even more incredible than I expected.
Go hard. Alright, take off the filter. Hurting my eyes.
This video is brought to you by MemoMind. So I stayed in a pretty small hotel, which was approximately $50 USD a night, and it had all the essentials I could ever need. But what they didn't tell me is that right next door they had Steve Jobs just hanging out. And this was a Steve Jobs robot with AI built in, so you can already see that the tech theme—
Why does he not have an arm? What the fuck?
Out. And this was a Steve Jobs robot with AI built in, so you can already see that the tech theme is present already. While I was there, I met up with my friend Tom, also known as Byte Review, and we hung out pretty much the entire time. And this was also Tom's first trip to China as well. And for me, it was my second. Now, Shenzhen is a massive city in China, and a lot of China is already very technologically advanced, but Shenzhen takes it to the next level. This is a city that loves robots. There are robots everywhere. Coffee robots, street cleaners, police robots, cute robots, not so cute robots, even robot boxing. Yes, there is a robot boxing league in China, and at this particular mall, they had a robot boxing setup right in the middle of the mall.
I saw a clip where one of these guys tried to run away. Kind of scary.
And this is a city that also loves self-driving cars, whether they were autonomous.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Yeah, we're gonna have
a complete
bread, bro.
Ride-sharing vehicles or owned vehicles using self-driving. You could tell by the blue LEDs on the vehicles letting you know that they were autonomous driving vehicles. And there were also drones everywhere. Cool. In some parks, you could actually have your food or drinks delivered to this box, and then the drone flies away and does the next order. And I did find the drone spawning point, which was pretty cool to see. Now, some of these things are obviously a little touristy, a little gimmicky, but technology was in every facet of this city beyond just some of these kind of flashy things. And kind of the futuristic vision of this city carried along to architecture and design in the city as well. There were parts of Shenzhen that had very futuristic architecture and buildings, and parts that felt very solar punk, surrounded by nature with bridges and flowing forms. You know those kind of like utopia city meme images that like, if this happened, then this would happen? Yeah, Shenzhen in a lot of parts kind of looked like those images. But in contrast, there were a lot of areas that felt traditional and historic as well. And the high-tech theme carried over to a lot of stores I visited. Major Chinese smartphone and tech brands.
Hui? I don't remember. But this is basically like Apple, right? Of China?
Like Xiaomi, Huawei, Vivo, and Oppo are doing some pretty amazing things, and actually trying some unique things too. And I did a video a few months back doing a more in-depth look at these tech stores, but seeing these brands' new devices was very impressive.
Sorry for the pauses. I also kind of want a folding phone. You let me know if you want one too. I'm gonna get the iPhone.
For example, Huawei's brand new compact wide foldable. It's a pretty cool device and a great form factor. There's also massive tech stores like Sundan Life, which has all the latest tech innovations like audio, phone accessories, speakers, new devices, AI specific gadgets, cooling technology. And stores like this carry basically everything, like things that are going to be popular right now and things that are going to be popular like 6 months from now. There were even stores for very specific hobbies and brands, like a Bamboo Lab store with everything 3D printed throughout the store, and keyboard stores. There were so many incredible things to see in person at these stores and malls, and it was also just very fun to see all these stores and brands that you pretty much only see online having these massive, innovative, new retail experiences. But what I was really interested in were the malls selling both new and old tech. Welcome to Huaqiang Bay, and it really is an entire neighborhood block that's just tech stores. Now, the most famous mall in this neighborhood is SEG Market, and it was about 10 floors of small vendors selling keyboards and speakers and fans, these little mini Android baby iPhones, and other parts. It was definitely impressive, but it wasn't exactly what I was looking for because a lot of these things are available on Amazon, AliExpress, or Taobao. A lot of these malls had kind of the same things. And I visited some of the other malls in the area which were very similar, but there was one vendor that had those Android handhelds that are pretty popular right now. You can play
Alright, chat. Who the hell here has had a PSP? Type 1 in chat. Or type it in the comments, I'm sorry. Edit this out.
emulators and PS2 games on. And I was on the lookout for used devices, rare, vintage Y2K tech, and eventually I found some incredible places. First, there's the used phone markets. These are incredible places where you can find basically every device imaginable.
Jesus.
iPhones, Android phones, a lot of Chinese Android phones you just can't get in North America, all for fairly reasonable prices in varying conditions. This is where all the phones that we end up getting rid of or upgrading from pretty much end up. But finding like vintage or older tech was definitely a bit of a challenge though, as a lot of these stores focused on selling newer
Who saw that? Who saw that?
products. But funny enough, a lot of the sellers that I met that had these kind of retro and vintage devices didn't want to sell them because they themselves were collectors. They were proud to own these devices, have them on display, and not even sell them. But I did meet one seller who had this amazing collection of classic and rare phones on display at his booth that he wasn't looking to sell. Just being able to chat with somebody who's also such a big fan of technology, especially vintage technology, was incredible. And at the end of our conversation, he basically just gifted me one of the phones from his collection out of the kindness of his heart. I offered to pay, he said no, and it was really just such a wonderful, wholesome moment part of the trip. I also had to check out the infamous Frankenstein iPhone Mall in a city block that pretty much only sold iPhone parts and pieces. This was a multi-floor mall that pretty much just sold iPhone shells, parts, batteries, and even fully assembled working iPhones, as well as some iPads,
Where's the future part, bro? We just been looking at old fucking iPhones.
MacBooks, and the occasional Android. You could basically build an entire iPhone from just parts you would find in this mall, and there were so many iPhones and pieces all in one place. The sheer quantity of the stacks and stacks of different colored iPhones and different models was incredible. You're gonna get sick of me saying malls, but there were plenty of multi-level malls just selling a whole bunch of different technology. There was one mall I found that had a floor that was just for hi-fi audio setups, massive speakers, a truly insane collection. There was also an entire mall that I found that was just selling digicams, like literally in collection. There was also an entire mall that I
said, what the fuck you doing? What the fuck you doing, bro?
Found that was just selling digicams, like literally 5
Am I trying too hard?
floors of different sellers, some selling higher end cameras, but a lot of them just selling like early 2000s digicams. And this mall was absolutely insane. There were some incredibly weird cameras, and I ended up grabbing a few which I'll show off in my haul a bit later. So these were just some of the store experiences I had shopping across Shenzhen for technology. And you could spend a lot of money in the city, both on new and old tech, and you could spend days just going through these malls and exploring. It really is an incredible sight to see. Now, one piece of tech that I brought on my trip that was genuinely helpful during my travels was a pair of smart glasses from a company called MemoMind, also the sponsor of this video. They kind of just look like regular glasses or take calls through the building, look and feel like regular glasses, but they news headlines and the maps, a teleprompter, actually useful. Find coffee or food, even how to say phrase. The glasses you can just go about for you. And a sense of a conversation with someone who does. There's also an optional feature that you can turn on that listens to you, challenges you ran, stay connected, things up. Parts of China's lead in technology, and something else that made the city feel so futuristic were of course the electric cars. In terms of design, batteries, charge.
Although, check it out if you want to. It's his sponsor. I don't know. Hands in the air. Yellow man caught.
Smart features, connectivity, self-driving, they're miles ahead with these cars in China. And a lot of these cars are just having fun with technology too, like screens that follow you and tilt and adjust, or little robot assistants, or gesture controls that are completely unnecessary but just very cool. And there's screens everywhere, coolers. These cars are absolutely full of technology.
There is a car that we have, I think it's a Yoda, that has the coolers, which is, I mean,
while these designs aren't for everyone, Chinese cars have a very distinct identity of looking very futuristic, like something you'd see in Cyberpunk or Blade Runner. But one car brand that really blew me away is XPeng. It's a brand we really haven't heard of in North America, and they're just starting to expand throughout Europe, but they're quite big in China. I took a bullet train from Shenzhen to Guangzhou to check out their headquarters and see their lineup of vehicles, as well as test out their VLA 2.0 self-driving system for their cars.
Yo, all right. So this is something that I've been telling my boo about. Bro, I want self-driving so bad, bro. Like, imagine just like not having to drive. Like, bro, I'm sorry, I want it.
And it was surprisingly good and also worked well for self-parking. But of course, this brand isn't just making electric cars, they're also making humanoid robots. They're also, of course, working on flying cars and not just one, different models. And these are not just like concept vehicles. These are cars and not just one. Also making humanoid robots. They're also, of course, working on flying cars and not just one, different models. These are not just like concept vehicles. These are vehicles that are actually either going into mass production or being tested extensively already in the sky.
Seriously?
And I know like flying car for some of these is a very loose term, but they're kind of like really big drones that can carry people inside, I guess. But like XPeng is extensively working on these things, and like for example, this carrier van that can eject this flying vehicle is being produced by 2027. It was just so crazy to see all of this in person.
Yo, show me a clip of someone
doing that, bro. But my experience in Shenzhen wasn't
please.
Just about technology, of course. This is a fully developed, massive megacity that offered a lot more than just things you could buy or flashy tech devices. A city that prides itself on being futuristic isn't just about consumerism, but it's a place you can actually enjoy living in. And Shenzhen had a lot of amazing nature, parks, places to escape the busy city and just hang out and enjoy your time. There were of course malls everywhere, like massive shopping centers, but they weren't just places that you could just buy things. There were places to also hang out, like third spaces. People were just sitting, eating, enjoying, skating, doing group activities. And compared to here in North America where malls are actively dying because everybody's just shopping online and there's no reason to actually visit a mall besides buying things, it was quite the contrast to see.
You got a basketball in this bitch?
I also visited some incredible museums, including this exhibit at the Shenzhen Bay Cultural Square, which just focused on good product design. Simple things like boxes and bottles alongside technology from a variety of different countries, including a lot of Chinese innovation we've seen over the past few years, like some of the first folding phones, beautiful furniture design. I took so many photos, it's a great place to learn from and of course reference in my own work in the future. And I love galleries that focus on not just traditional art and sculptures, but also on good design, because a lot of these products we use every day are art in their own way. And also, of course, the food in Shenzhen was incredible. I'm vegetarian, and there were so many amazing vegetarian restaurants all throughout the city. A lot of them are buffets with a huge variety of incredible dishes. And I definitely needed fuel on this trip because it was incredibly hot and there was a lot of walking. And the moment you've been waiting for, the haul. Okay, first up, I bought this Sony digital camera. This is the DSC KW1. It has like a rotating camera module. It's incredibly weird. I think it's super cool. Next, I bought this modded green iPhone 7 and it all works. It was $60 Canadian, which is pretty crazy. I also bought this Casio Xilm, another really weird kind of like rotating camera thing. It's like a super strange device, but also a really cool one. This is a fun one, the very strange Samsung Galaxy Folder. It is an Android flip phone, but in the more traditional flip phone sense. I was gifted this Nokia 7610 by that shop owner I mentioned earlier. This is a super weird but beautiful phone, and I'm incredibly grateful that I was given this. I absolutely love this design. I also bought this white iPhone 3G in pretty good condition and it all works. I grabbed a pretty regular space gray iPhone 6 as well. I've been looking for a minimal clean USB-C charging razor and I found this Life in one. It's all aluminum and it works pretty well. I also bought these Huawei Free Clip 2 earbuds that kind of just
Huawei.
clip onto your ear. They don't actually go in your ear. And these ones come with this crazy chromed out case that has wireless charging, and the earbuds
Aura.
themselves are chrome as well. They kind of look like a piece of jewelry, and they actually do sound really good. I've been going back and forth and buying this for a while, but this time I just bought it. It's the Insta360 Amiro, and it's basically like a secondary screen that plugs into your iPhone and actually is a touch screen, so you can take photos, preview videos with this, and it has a selfie light built in as well.
Kinda
It's
cool.
pretty great. Now at that massive iPhone parts mall, I bought these. It's 10 iPhone XS's. It's just the shell, but it's
But why? But why?
It's pretty cool looking. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. Maybe a little bit of an art project. But unfortunately,
This is
I
kinda
didn't stop
sick.
there. I bought 6 iPhone 14 shells. Also, don't know why I did, but I just had to. And then I bought this Sony Rion Pocket Pro
The
Plus.
fuck
It's
is
basically
that?
a wearable air conditioning unit.
Oh,
And it
that's
kind of
cool.
feels like you're pressing like a coin that's really cold to the back of your neck, and it kind of cools you down. I wouldn't say it's as good as I expected, but it kind of works. It does heating or cooling, and the heating works a lot better than the cooling, let me tell you that. And
Well,
yeah,
I mean, that
that's
makes
my haul.
sense.
It's not often for me that I'll travel to the same country again within only a few months of visiting the first time, but after my first time visiting China, I was just longing to see even more. And being so interested in technology, of course, I wanted to see where some of the most cutting edge tech was coming out of China, and Shenzhen was the perfect place for that. Seeing a mix of technology, both old and new, places and architecture that felt very futuristic, and brands doing the things that we were promised, places and architecture that felt very futuristic, and brands doing the things that we were promised would be in the future, but they're happening today, was very exciting. All of this in a city that wasn't just flashy things and new devices, but was genuinely full of nature and beauty and places that you actually wanted to spend time in, just made the overall trip and experience even more wonderful. I also had a great time traveling with Tom, and you can check out his video about his experience in China at the link in the video description. And if you like this video,
Who saw that don't trip tattoo? So why did I point at the screen? Oh,
his
fucking
video about
chalk it,
his
bro,
experience in
chalk it.
China
Jesus
at the
Christ.
link in the video description. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like down below. If you like this shirt, I'll have a link in the video description. Let me know your thoughts on this style of video or one of your favorite places that I showed in this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't.
I like it. First, I have some questions. I should have asked this before, but check them out. Canopy. Question 1: would you guys go to China? I think I would for sure. Number 2: I feel like having robots in America would be fun for like coffee and shit like that. Should have said it during the video. Just now thought about it. Number 3: that might be it. Thank you for watching. If you like and made it this far, like and subscribe, please. Let me know what I can do better because I'm trying. Thanks. Peace.